Welcome everybody, helping you become more proficient and efficient in the outdoors. This is Survival Schoolhouse. There's 3 tinders right here. Can you see them? Let's start a fire using only our metal match, some of these tinders, and just sticks we break off of trees. We're not going to go too complex. So the first thing that you want to look for is maybe what area I'm in, what microclimate I'm in. Right now, I'm on a south-facing slope. So in the northern hemisphere, the south-facing slope is going to be getting more sun. So we can take some of this stuff, which is going to dry out faster. One of these tinders here, with a little bit of snow on top, I'm going to try and just grab the bottom, is what we call witch's hair. It's a green lichen that grows on these trees. There's also a horse's hair, a speckled horse's hair, and that is a brown type of fibrous material. So this stuff can light right up with a metal match if it's dry. To help it out, you can even add some pitch to it. Some pitch that is oozing out of the trees. So as you grab this, what other tinder did you guys see? Right down here, got some birch bark. So we have to search around and look for maybe some drier stuff. This is a birch tree here. So if we find some drier stuff within this, break it up, we'll be able to light that up. There's natural resin in the bark, and it helps keep it from rotting. And also, the reason birch bark curls back on itself on the outside is so it can snuff out little flames that are coming through with the forest fire. So it helps protect the tree. The other tinder that we have around here is this ocean spray up on top. So this ocean spray, the tinder characteristics that we're always looking for is light, hair-like, fibrous. That's just gonna light right up. And so all this, I'm just gonna put in my pocket to keep dry. Now let's go find some wood. You could see that this tree, all these branches underneath have been covered by all these boughs. So you can see no snow underneath. If you break one of these sticks, it breaks pretty cleanly, which is an indicator that it's dry. It makes a nice sharp crack. And then you want to wear leather gloves for safety when you're breaking these off. So you could just break it off as it stands right here, all the ends. Break them, grab them together, break them off. All these ends at once. Or you can break all these sticks off and then do the same thing on the ground. We have all of our stages that we want. We want pencil lead size to start this out, especially with natural tinder. So we want pencil lead size, then pencil size roughly, and then thumb and fuel up from there. So we want a big amount. When you set this down, protect it somewhere. Don't just throw it in the snow. So I'm going to put it in a dry spot. I'm going to collect all these branches to get a good fire going. To break these branches off, make sure that there isn't any green on it. This one, there's half the branch is dead, but don't take the green part off. That's still going to be alive and not a good tree, not a good stick to use. So to break these larger ones off, grab it towards the base and then walk around the tree, which puts a lot of pressure right at the base of it. And even though that this is real thick, you're able to break that off. There's a vine growing on this tree. These vines, these roots, can be used for natural cordage. One that was tripping me right here tie something up quick. Pretty sturdy as long as you don't kink this too much. Turn your head away when you're breaking these branches, because a lot of times when you break it, the part that breaks, it's real close to where it's going to break and fly towards your face. These are the branches that we want. All of the thin stuff working our way all the way up to the thicker fuel stage. This stump right here next to this tree, there might be pitch in it, but it is a good platform. Let's see. If you kick a stump and it kicks back just real solid, then there's probably pitch in it. This one seems pretty rotten, may not be too much, if any. Nope, but it's a good platform. Let's go to a safe spot. Right here on the snow, so the fire's not going to spread around. And it's the winter time, pretty low chance of that. But a lot of times in the spring, you think everything is wet. But those 1 hour fuels, those grasses, those things that dry out within 1 hour can still light up. So you want to be careful even if it's wet out. We have our platform, at least 1 foot by 1 foot. We have a brace right about wrist size or about the size of your tinder that you're going to use. Let's get our wood. We have a couple sticks or runners right here to protect it from the snow. Maybe another brace. Start from the end. I'm going to put my best dry stuff ready to go, ready to light. Right over here. You don't have to pick one stick up at a time and go dink, dink, dink. No, go grab a whole bunch at a time, break it up. It's going to be faster. Less chance of it gathering some moisture. The spot where I'm the most picky is this first initial stage right here. You want a good handful, 2 of those. Then once you work your way down to the pencil size, after the pencil lead, put that on your runner and make a couple distinct stages for your pencil and then your fuel size. It's not a good idea to break it over your knee. Right there where your patella, that tendon, it's happened where people have tried so hard and then dislocated their kneecap. So you want to be careful with that. And break these larger ones down, use your thigh or step on it and break it. A lot safer. A lot of good survival things right here on this one little spot. We have this dry wood. We have this vine for cordage, which quite possibly this one, it's hard to say, but I would try the bow drill with it. And I would just be real careful. We have the platform, we have the brace, all this wood, and a lot of times, if you're looking for a campsite, look for a spot with all the resources. Fuel size. You can hear that pop, that crack. That's a good indicator that it's dry. It's a quick, easy, dry conditions fire, but it's the middle of winter right now. It's dry out. This spot has been protected for a long time. Just a few minutes of breaking up wood and we're ready to prepare our tinder. So birch bark is probably going to burn the longest out of all these tinders. The downside to a natural tinder is that it usually flares up quick and then goes out quick. So you want at least a softball size. So breaking these up into small shavings isn't as fine as I would make it if I was just using my metal match. I'd want a bunch just as small as this little piece of paper, like I want a bunch like that. But we have our other tinder that we can use. Come on in, show you how that's gonna light. Sharpen up something sturdy like your flathead screwdriver with a file 90 degrees to it. So that makes some nice sparks. Do not use the back side of a folding blade knife or like this file right here. It makes really nice sparks, but I've seen 2, 3, 4 guys push on this locking mechanism inadvertently and it fold back on their finger and then they need stitches. So with your tinders, here's our witch's hair. Fluff it up. It's been in my pocket. Here's our speckled horse's hair. Again, fluff it up. This horse's hair is finer and will take a spark better. So initially, it's usually a better tinder to use, especially for the bow drill versus the witch's hair. Here's our ocean spray and our birch bark. Let me just show you how this ocean spray lights up. Put your metal match in the middle of your tinder. Stop just before the bottom so you don't snuff it out. Roll your tinder around so the flame burns up. It's a nice little flash tinder, but doesn't last very long. Let's light up a section of our witch's hair. Same thing, lights right up. The key is getting good, strong sparks. Here's our horse's hair. Went up a little easier because it's finer. So we're going to use this tinder right here. We'll make a little nest. Get a little bit larger brace. So we have our prep ready to go. I've changed out this brace to something larger. You want your brace about the same size as your tinder. This is fluffed up, pretty close to ready. My two piles are ready, right here. Ready to put on, out of the way. The key to just about any fire is your preparation. You don't want to skimp on any one of these steps because your fire could fail at that step. Your fire needs heat, oxygen, and fuel. So I'm going to light this up. Stop right before stuff's nice and dry. Then use that to get my birch bark going. And then from there, I'm going to use my brace. Lay my wood over my brace. So that's why I have my brace. Lay my second pile on. And this allows you to push on this. It's keeping it from smothering the tinder. If it needs more oxygen, lift up on the brace. So that's going. Once our flames poke through, hit your next stage of pencil. And you can feel the heat right here. It's getting pretty hot. This smoke, I can see it burning right there. I'm just going to add my next layer on, a good handful. You don't need to put on one stick at a time. Real hot. If it's a little bit damp, if you put these on, it's going to dry it out a little bit quicker. Sometimes you have to wait 10 minutes or so with a bunch of wood on there if you have some good preparation maybe 3 Vaseline and cotton balls underneath, but you have a good preparation of all this pencil lead, those Vaseline and cotton balls are going to dry it out, but it takes a while. That's something that you don't want to wait to practice on. I would practice that skill, but that wouldn't be my first choice of lighting it up that way. I would grab one of these sticks right here, get a fixed blade knife, chop down into it, twist it, and then break it up and split it up. But because we have our brace, I'm not smothering it, and then you can just keep putting more wood on. Notice how I alternated. A handful one way, handful the other way. That's making more oxygen. Allows it to light up faster. Woo! Then to put out the fire, remove one of the legs of the fire triangle. Heat, oxygen, or fuel. Removing the fuel. Removing the heat with some snow. Be careful spreading your fire around. If you don't have snow, you should be going down to the mineral soil. Below all of this layer, this dirt and stuff layer, the duff layer, need to be below that right to bare dirt. Fire does not burn across dirt, it burns across duff. So having a rock ring around, your fire can go underneath that duff. So you want to be careful with that. Use a stick instead of your boots so you don't burn the bottom of your boots. Not the best care and use for survival or your equipment. So an easy way to start a fire in the outdoors, dry conditions. Appreciate you watching. Keep surviving. Well, welcome to my office.